Hi, my name is Gilles Hausmmann, and I am your host for this summit, The Empowered Human, Move Beyond Your Limitations and Fulfill Your Soul's Purpose while experiencing joy, abundance, and love. I've been drawn to organize this summit because of a heart's call, I may say, because, I feel deep in my heart that we are in need of love on earth. We are in need, I don't know if we say that in English, to reconnect to our heart deeply, because this is the place of creation. The power of creation stays in that place. So in order to live in a place of love, we all crave for that on earth. So this is very needed to get down to that place, from the head down to the heart. So that's why I organized this summit, and I do welcome you, Anaiya Sophia.
Thank you very much, Gilles. I enjoy very much your introduction.
Well, and I want to present you briefly in order the viewers know a little bit more about you. Anaiya Sophia, you are an independent mystic of an almost forgotten faith, author and a teacher of Kundalini Yoga. You carry an oral transmission that stirs the remembrance of the Sophia, Isis, Magdalene lineage. Your books include Open Your Heart with Kundalini Yoga, Sacred Sexual Union, The Rose Night, and Fire's Feminine Rising. Anaiya, you live in the Occitan region of southern France with your beloved husband, Pete Wilson. Together, in union with the land, you take people on their own grail quest into an immersive interaction where an initiation by the feminine principle is almost always guaranteed. You ran a B&B where individuals as a group can come and stay. Anaiya, you can conduct baptism, marriage, divorce, and death rite ceremonies. So welcome again, welcome to you.
Merci beaucoup, Gilles.
Mon plaisir, my pleasure. So I've been drawn to you because of this feminine energy and that you embody, the sacred divine, I could say, because we all, male and female, have these sacred energies within us. We both have both energies, feminine and masculine, within. But as a masculine, maybe I have more masculine, or as a female, I have more female energies. These are in different balances in everyone. So, can you maybe explain a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I would say everything that you've said is still in a flux of change. I believe maybe 20 years ago, we could have said feminine energy is mostly in the women and masculine energy is mostly in the men. We could have said that 20 years ago and there'd be a lot of nodding of heads. I truly believe now we cannot say that with such sureness. We are in a state of flux. There are many women with an abundance of masculine energy that is good and directional and motivational and is changing things on the outside. And there is an abundance of men with feminine energy rising, who are opening their hearts and gathering with other men and opening up and being those first ones to start the men's work, revealing the heart and sharing honestly. So this, I was only discussing this with Pete a few days ago. This is amazing. You could say the masculine energy in women is causing them to rise up, to stand, to break their silence, to remember all of those initiatory and mystical practices. And you could say it's the feminine energy in men That's bringing them into a men's circle to speak. You know, once the feather comes to your lap, now it's your turn to speak and open up. And so I do believe there's going to be another stage after this. And I'm not even sure we'll be able to clearly identify anymore which is which. The masculine and the feminine will swirl and unite in such a way that there's now a third expression.
So it's like we talk about the androgen. It's like the balance of both. So
Yes.
we are now close to move to that point where both energies are very present in everyone, male or female.
That's
and
correct.
So these are okay. We are always moving them from one to another and having always, we could say that, a balance between them.
Absolutely. Again, if we look back to the, say, 20, 30, 50 years, you know, people were put in, we call it in English, pigeonholes. It means a box. So you're a heterosexual, you're a gay man, you're a lesbian woman. I also believe that all of this is also blurring. It's blurring and going into this spiraling place where something new is going to be forged and made true and made real. I really do believe in the future, if not now already, we can't really put ourselves in that box. Back in the old paradigm, perhaps it was the energy of sex that dictated our sexual preference. I believe in this swirling process that the energy of the sex is going to rise up to the heart, the energy of the soul is going to come down into the heart, and this is now how we choose our partners. So it's not like I am a woman, therefore I want to make love to a man because I want to feel him inside of me. That's old paradigm, I'm sure. New paradigm, ooh, I feel an erotic energy towards you. My heart is opening. I totally want to come close to you. Oh, you happen to be a woman. Ah, okay. So the impulse to merge is going to be different. I believe it's going to come from the heart, and I truly believe, I hope this is not me being optimistic or naive, the reason to merge we will always be aware that it's for the betterment of just me and the other one. So the reason to merge will either be to receive data, information from the other one of a healing nature. We've made a good choice to be with the other one because together you're going to open each other up. You're going to become more, so you're going to walk away from it, your experience, opened and extended. And that openness will almost on the second breath be given to the community in some way.
Mm.
You know, back in the old days, we'd have sex, mostly because of lust, maybe not even considering the other person all that much. And there was a goal. Everyone's racing to the finishing line to spend their goal. This is very limited.
Yes, for sure. And
yes.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to summarize, really, Gilles. I believe, yeah, we're coming up to the level of the heart where all of that limited thoughts will be a thing of the past.
Mm. Yes, and I do completely agree with what you said, because I felt deeply in my heart. I've been in love of a guy when I was young, around my 20s, and this was really strange because I was, in the pigeonhole of heterosexual, I would say, clearly, but the relationship we built together was so strong and intimate. I was really close to, I could have kissed him when we were so close. It was like there was love between us. So it was like an evidence for me that love is not, there is nothing to do about gender.
Absolutely.
We love our children, whatever gender they are. We love nature. So love has nothing to do with the gender. Love is a relation. It's a matter of to have a relationship with another one, whatever gender he has. So
that is so beautiful, Gilles. That is exactly right. And even the energy in which you share it, I can feel it.
Mm.
You know, back in the olden days of the Greek culture, there were 7 forms of love. So we have one word, love. But back in the days of the Greeks, they had 7 different words for the different qualities of love. They wouldn't just say, I love you. They would use the right word for that particular quality, ranging from, you know, the love of your family to the love of God, and everything in between. An erotic love, a altruistic love, the love of nature, the love of art, the love of power and passion, you know, so many different qualities. But we just have one old boring word.
Yeah, the same in French. Now I'm thinking just right now about that, but that's yeah, you know, that's true. We don't have so many words to describe it, so we have to use periphrases to explain the quality of the love we do have in the moment, with who, with what, and so yeah.
Mm.
So my question to you now: where do you come from? I mean, from we in your presentation we learned that this is lineage of Magdalene, Isis. So what is your background? Where do you come from? Because we talk about the empowered human. So stating that, it's like we have the empowered human on one side, but we have the disempowered human from one side. So this is all about the human journey. So from disempowerment to empowerment, and in the middle, you find the way to. You find the way to. I would say to universal love, this balance. The image I have is that from one side of the spectrum to the other side, in the middle, there is like a little hole where you can just move in and then get to the universal love, this balance, 0 point, whatever it is. I have that image that pop up in my mind.
Well, I recently had my DNA tests done, and obviously I have an Irish father. So the majority of my actual bloodline is Celtic. It's Irish, it's Viking. And I believe when you have that kind of bloodline in your system, you automatically have one foot in the inner world. The Irish, the Vikings, the Celts, they're very close to the invisible world. This is so important to them. To not have that parallel world run alongside them would be to seriously squash the spirit of the Celts, the Vikings, the Irish. So I grew up being able to sense this invisible, magical, fairy world running alongside of me.
Just to be sure that I understand you, is in your lineage. These energies, I mean, the visible and the invisible is very mixing together.
Yes.
So please go ahead.
So there was a pivotal moment when I was 7. I met what looked like a homeless person on the steps of Sacré-Cœur in Paris. And there was a full-hearted, open-eyed exchange. I was 7 years old. He must have been in his late 20s. This was a very, very big moment. We held hands. We stared into each other's eyes. I cried profoundly. And what I heard on the other side is, on the inside is, I am not alone. That this person here in front of me is also the same. We know the same things. We're in the same place. So that was the big heart moment. And he had bright blue eyes, and they were wet, and they were filled with joy and goodness and just unbelievable love. This was not a homeless person. This was an angel. And so I began searching for more of those people everywhere. First of all, in my imagination, writing stories, writing about these kinds of meetings in fairy tales. Obviously, when I got into my teenage, I'm interested in boys, so I'm looking out for the blue eyes. Where are the blue eyes? And so this took me into the world of sexuality. I never experimented with alcohol or drugs or any of the other things that you're supposed to experiment with when you're in your teenage. Sexuality and boyfriends and girlfriends and dressing up and being outrageous, this was my playground. This is where I started to push the edge. It was not long before, when you're playing, I feel, when you're playing around with sexual energy, it's not long before it falls into the spiritual world. Because to me, it's a very similar force. And so now I'm realizing that this that I'm searching for is not necessarily going to be found on earth again in that homeless man. That homeless man was pointing beyond the experience we were having on the steps of the Sacré-Cœur. So now I'm on a spiritual quest. And of course, the face of Yeshua, the face of Jesus, was incredibly similar looking to the man on Sacré-Cœur. So that is where I began. My spiritual path began with Jesus, not necessarily the Christian faith or the Roman Catholic faith, just Jesus. Just Jesus, the Mount of Beatitudes, the Lord's Prayer, the meek shall inherit the earth, his authentic teachings. And that obviously opened the heart. I'm nearly there. But after spending maybe 10 years absolutely following what I would call the path of the Sacred Heart, to love beyond hurt, to love beyond disappointment, to literally go through the 5 wounds of love myself. Betrayal, denial, judgment, abandonment, separation, the whole thing. Just not minding those moments of hurt, because I know the other side of that, the heart's going to get bigger. So then after spending so much time with Jesus, the male figure, then comes Mary Magdalene. She now comes in on the inside and she starts whispering that half the Christ teachings is missing because she's containing the other half and she's been silenced. And her part is the beauty, the absolute sincere holy beauty of the body, the mystical path of sexuality and where it can lead and how it can heal and how it can open the 2 humans involved into a very adoring state. And so here I am now passing through both the masculine and the feminine aspects of the full Christ teachings, I believe. Not that I've studied the full Christ teachings, but I've immersed myself in the heart and in the sexuality at a level that I feel comfortable with. So for me now, the absolute work now is to truly merge the 2. And that, I believe, will be the stepping into the 3rd piece, which is truly mystical, cannot really be spoken about. It's gnosis, it doesn't have words, but we can talk about it and we can feel it.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful because, having done this both parts, I would say, and having then this sacred union between the masculine and feminine that take place.
Yes.
The marriage of both of them in the heart.
Oh, absolutely. If you can imagine that one person comes into this union with such a wide heart, a love of animals, a love of land, a love of art, a love of science, a love of God the Father, God the Mother, just there is no limit. And then the other one comes in with a very powerful but vertical sense of the erotic. You know, the body is fully open. Every cell is responding. There's no guilt and shame in that one anymore. There's only celebration. And that celebration is heading towards the soul. It's not going out into the world and getting all hooked up on all sorts of weird and wonderful distractions. You can imagine those two people come together in a physical union, or they come together in our own self as two forces on the inside. There is the liberation, right there.
Mm. Yeah, I love that, because I think this is what we all want to experience. We are all, I don't find the right words to express that, because I do feel that this is exactly what I want. I know that I want this union myself and union with my beloved one, in order to, I know that we can reach out to God in that way. We have this ecstasy. We are in union with the with the whole universe. It's more than that, with the oneness.
Yes. Of course, we have to talk about the reasons why perhaps we don't.
Yes, please.
I have known this about me since I was 7 years old. And I've made it very, very clear to the Creator, please, not only do I want to experience this once, I want to live this constantly. So how come I don't? Well, I guess it comes down to one word: distrust. Distrust of the other one. Even though the Sacred Heart has been relatively opened, all of a sudden I've developed this fear of not wanting to get hurt. You know, right at the moment where you meet someone where you could genuinely experience this, then in comes another layer of fear, sabotage, resistance, contraction. And there's many people who say that there are also energies out there in the invisible world. They have something to do with us. We are also allowing it to work through us. So just as we're about to take that enormous soul-changing change, something will start to perhaps tease us into closing down, or influence. Maybe influence is the better word. And, you know, many people are talking about this now. It's coming out as a very open subject, hyperdimensional interference. So ranging from thought forms to emotions to the matrix itself, you know, the internet, the 5G, the kinds of food we're eating, the kinds of things we're watching on TV. The whole program is to keep us limited. Keep us limited like a nice, good little sheep, doing what the Matrix asks it to do every day and every night, every day and every night. Yeah. And that is the inner work. The inner work is to please everybody. I'm talking to myself as well.
Yeah, sure.
To go beyond that fear of being hurt, of being abandoned, whatever it is. Not being safe, unprotected, too vulnerable, too open.
Yeah, and this is, I do agree with you once more with that statement that, well, this experience we have created. I mean, we are responsible of whatever we have around us.
Yes.
We agreed to come here and have this experience. So if we have done that, it means that we have the power to choose and to go where we want to go. So it's only about the choice we make and how we are persistent, perseverant in and being aware of where we move. I don't know if I express myself well, but it's the intention. We have to remember the intention and to commit to that work, inner work, and attention to our goal.
Yes. I also believe that, I'm not sure what generation you are. Maybe you're a little bit younger than me. I'll say you're a little bit younger than me.
Yes, let's say that.
My generation, I'm nearly 50. And
I'm 49.
Okay. So I can say our generation.
Yes.
Our generation and younger, we are, I believe, the first ones showing up in this way. As male and females, we've climbed to this plateau where we're interested at the level of the mind, we're interested at the level of the heart, and we're interested at the level of our sexuality. We want the sacred union. This is massive. My parents, my mum and dad didn't want sacred union. They didn't know what that was. As for my grandparents, well, they were in the war. So we have to look how far we've actually come in a couple of generations. And if you think of the people now in their 20s, what a gift! What a gift that they're standing on this plateau with us, recognizing we got to clean up the body, we got to make our energy sovereign, we got to come out the matrix wherever we can, not get caught up in its control mechanism. Open up the heart, open up sexuality, clear the mind. So we have to definitely nod with acknowledgement that we are the first ones to be standing at this plateau of possibility where we could actually taste this for real. And perhaps that is the motivation, that is the inspiration that makes us take those forbidden steps beyond the mind, beyond the sabotage, because I can't help thinking it's sabotage. That inside of us is also a mechanism that wants limitation. It's like being a prisoner. We've been a prisoner for so long. We don't
want to get out of prison. This is very well known, and it's scary outside. So that's scary. That's the right word. Yeah, it's a very I'm afraid of the outside. If I am in my prison, it's quite safe here.
Yeah, it's like there's a male and female glorious version of ourselves outside prison, offering us a key.
Yes.
And we look at these two faces and we recognize them. Oh my God, that's my two faces. That's my female face. That's my male face.
And they are so beautiful. Oh.
They're clothed in light and they seem to be smiling with such love at me, and they're offering me this golden key. And I'm just stood there.
Yeah. Thank you. What I'm going to do with that?
Yes.
I'll give it back to you.
But we must give praise that we're here, Gilles. We're here, and the listeners, we're here. We've got to the plateau.
Yeah.
All the 3,000 years of matriarchy, patriarchy, putting women down, putting men down. And here we are. We're now on neutral ground.
Exactly. I do have this same image with the pendulum, which going one way to the other way, and now it's time to stop the movement.
Yes, that's right. And the male and the female, go forward together. No matriarchy. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, looks like there's another feminist movement rising up." Perhaps, but my heart is to say, let's not make it into matriarchy again. I know on a mental level it makes sense. You know, we'll start caring for the earth and everyone on it and in it in a really glorious way. I don't think that's the answer. I don't think this is the final step. The final step is the two of us, just like the heart and the sexuality. There's no word for this next step. It's not patriarchy, it's not matriarchy, it's the union of the two. That's the only thing we haven't yet been.
Yeah.
It will be very easy to swing into matriarchy and start the whole goddess thing off again.
And it makes sense because patriarchy or matriarchy is just one side of the polarity. It's always the same expression of polarity, and these are the expression of the separation. So there is one dominant, to say that in English, one dominant and one dominated. Yes?
Submissive. Yes, yes.
So say it again.
Submissive.
Submissive.
So one's dominant and one's submissive.
Yeah, so there is no way out of this if we go on the other side. The way out is in the middle, and the middle, I have always this image that this is the middle. I don't know if this is what Jesus told us about. I know that in French, but there is a small door we can go through, and this, for me, this is this little middle point. I call that also the 0 point, because stop from being in the polarity, and then you can find your way to unity.
Yes, 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 yes. I wonder, and I'm wondering this right now, live.
Yeah.
You could say men have been operating at their heart, at their heads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is where they're based, and all of their decisions come from a thought-based, decisive process. I wouldn't say women are down in their womb or sexuality, but I do believe that is the design model. That is what the Creator intended. That for the woman to be down in her womb and coming from a world of feeling and connection and body and community. And maybe what's necessary for this third and final leap is for man, the masculine, to come down into his heart, leave this space empty for the great unknown. The men come down to the level of the heart, women do their work to go further still into their womb and sexuality. And up here, but it's not going to be a world of thought, it's going to be a world of consciousness, profound consciousness. So when the man and the woman, the male and the female come together, one's coming from the level of the heart, one's coming from the level of the sexual erotic force, and those two powers will unite and blast open the mind to maybe not its optimum potential, but a significant leap of expanded awareness. That was my live contemplation.
I love that. And I was thinking also of, does it mean when you say that, it's as if women are more connected to the heart? Does it mean that being in the womb, it's automatically related to the heart? Yes. Or do we have to work also to have women work in order to go up in the heart, in order to balance maybe the feelings, because feelings can become emotions? I don't know if what I'm trying to explain is but it's what when the feelings become too big, when they are not grounded, I don't know if it's right, but it's like they move too fast, and then they're becoming, it's like a storm on the ocean, and then you can't manage them So the place to be aware, to be able to manage that, is the heart.
Perhaps you, yes, that sounds and feels true. I must say, the movement as a woman, you don't leave the heart, obviously. So the movement from the heart to the womb.
I wanted to add some, and then you go ahead. But I wanted to add that I'm more emotional than rational. So it's my pattern, I would say, is emotion. So to deal with emotion, in order to deal with my emotion, I need to be really centered, because they can become very, very important, and it's very difficult to manage them. If I feel your emotions, I feel your fears. So yeah, I need to center in my heart in order to deal with that. So yeah, please go ahead, because I'm a man, but in order to deal with those emotions, I need to go in the heart. So I don't know if for women it's about the same movement that is needed to be at ease with those emotions.
What I've noticed in the sexual realm, I always call it my anchor. I see the womb and possibly the hara in men. So it's the same position. It's just below the belly button. That there is this great big iron anchor. You know what I mean? An anchor where you throw your anchor if you're a ship. So if my heart is, I have a lot of empathy. Oh my God, I can cry with anybody at any time. When that part is open, and possibly a little bit too open, and I need to really consolidate and come back to self, that is when I drop my awareness down into my womb, and I throw my anchor out and sort of like connect up with the earth. And now I'm steady. I'm less swirling emotionally. Perhaps there's a similar attribute in the male subtle anatomy. Perhaps, I don't know, is it the dantian? Is it the hara? Is it the root of the lingam? Is there a place inside of his anatomy where he can throw out an anchor and absolutely unite with the mountains and the forests and the fields of Mother Nature? And now, he's solid. He's solid and grounded. His root is connected to something strong. His heart is totally open, but he hasn't lost himself.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And I'm trying to find how it works for me. I would say, like, quite spontaneously, that this is about the hara, but it's also about the intention. I could use maybe another energy center to ground, for sure, the roots. Yes. Maybe both of them, root and sacred. This is the sacred chakra, the second one in English.
That's right.
Yes. I think we need both of them. These are anchors for sure. Yeah.
See, this is the area that interests me now. Men and women working together. I've done about 7 years now of doing women-only circles. But this is the level of conversation that really interests me now, where men and women can come together in circle and speak openly about all of these subjects, and where we can safely and with such goodness explore. So we can explore our bodies, physical, subtle. We can explore what works. That's my great big dream. That we can all come together. There's no agenda. There's nothing weird in the circle. It's very clean. It's very powerful. I look forward to that time.
I can feel
brothers and sisters. It's so pure, so innocent, but there is erotic energy there. But we have a good relationship with it now. We're not scared of it. We're not in the programs like, oh, I feel erotic, therefore I better undress and have sex with this person. No. What I'm understanding now, I've really got it yesterday. The erotic energy is the goddess.
Yeah.
It is the feminine part of us awakening. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything. It just means she is present.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It reminds me of what I learned not so long ago, that being separated, I mean, you are here, I am here, we are two persons. The relationship we have together, whatever it is a relationship of seduction, because we are having a conversation, we are interweaving. Does it sound in English? Interweaving our energy. So we are having like a dance. We are interested in each other. So this is about seductions. That needs this feminine energy of the erotic energy plays his role, her role, his role.
Yes.
Its role. Feminine, masculine, its role, androgyne.
Absolutely. I love how this conversation is so live. You know, we're like discovering.
Yes.
In the moment.
But I love the idea. I also want to have this conversation. Working with a group of men and women would be so great now, with people that are in this awareness of being male and female inside, I would say, and having both these both energies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are now in this time. Now we are going to this time where we can marry us.
Yes. Yeah.
No more separation. Yeah, we were talking about the woman taking the power. Is it matriarchy or patriarchy? Now it's not time for it's time to do it together.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I love this world together, because that's the solution.
And truly restore the respect, deep respect of the other gender. Yeah. You know, whatever the past has been, our own personal past and the collective past.
And it's very, yes, it's live. We are building this conversation completely live, because if we are not able to respect the other gender, it means that we are not able to respect the other energy inside of us. I mean, if I am a man, if I don't respect if I am not in respect of the feminine energies outside, I won't be able to respect mine inside. So it's as above, so below, as outside. I don't know how to say that in English. As inward.
That's right. And if we don't respect, there'll be a limit. So now there's a limit of how much feminine energy can rise. Because if we've placed a judgment on the female out there, we've also placed a judgment on the female in here. Mm-hmm. So our internal alchemy is now limited. We're not liberated. We have to, I believe, liberate both and really, truly acknowledge, be filled with gratitude of the two energies on the inside. Like you could say, at the beginning of this journey, I had a lot of masculine energy. I was very driven, very motivated, really on a mission, on a mission to go out there and tell everybody. There were definitely times where I was disappointed I had so much male energy, and I questioned that. I was like, oh my God, I'm talking about the feminine, but I'm actually running on male energy. So I was like, whoa, be quiet, stop being so gregarious and charismatic or whatever it is you are. And I got to bring up the feminine. So even that wasn't a beautiful and graceful thing to do with my internal energy. I should have said, male, you are magnificent. Your energy has no limit. I don't know where you're sourcing from, but it's infinite. So you just stay right there in that beautiful expression that you are. Let me just turn to my femaleness and ask her to meet you. So that should have been the inner work that I did, but that wasn't.
Yes, but actually, you are becoming aware of that, and this is what help us from what we learned. We then can grow. So that's beautiful. Now we can empower ourselves. So in order to bring those in balance, those both energies, feminine and masculine. So I love that, because we are having this conversation and getting so aware of that need right now. This is the balance and the way we can move forward and bring these energies of ascension completely in this very now moment.
Yes. Yeah.
I want you to present, because you have a free gift. I want you to present the free gift for the viewers. Sorry.
Well, in this moment, I thought the best thing I could share is what I call a fierce feminine transmission. So a transmission is like a guided, you can't really say meditative journey, because there's a lot of energy, but it is an internal guided journey where we get to meet the fierce feminine that is arising, I believe, in both men and women right here, right now, in this epoch that we're in. It's a very powerful energy. It's very protective. It's protective of the innocent. It's protective of the undefended. And it's the protector of justice. We haven't had connection to this fierce face of the feminine for a very long time because of everything that we've lived. It's been pushed underground, it's been silenced, it's been forbidden. We've been told that it's a facet of the feminine we should not go near because it's so wild and chaotic and mad and destructive. But actually, the truth of this energy is that it is highly moralistic. It has a compass of what is good and what is not good. It has a super skill of discernment. It is able to detect bullshit and manipulation at 100 paces. And I believe it's absolutely part of this sacred union, because what this energy is going to do once we allow it to go through us is to demolish everything that is unreal and inauthentic, manipulative, controlling. We're seeing it already. You could say in the Gilles, the yellow jacket movement. In England, we have something called the Extinction Rebellion. So there's a lot of unrest. And the way you can tell fierce feminine from anger, fierce feminine, she or he is not necessarily angry, and it's not pointing the finger at a person or even an establishment. It's just a really clean and authentic no. And it's horizontal and it's wide. It's just an outcry of no, this cannot continue anymore. Factory farming, pesticides going on the land, the pipeline over in America, the wall separating America from Mexico, all of this is just the no. We feel it inside of us. No, this cannot happen. This will not happen, actually. And it doesn't want to harm anybody. It just wants to dismantle the wall. No, that wall is not going up. I'm going to take it away brick by brick. You build it up, I take it away. 5G, fracking, all of these subjects can trigger this ancient energy back into our system. So the transmission is to come into contact with that inside of yourself, and to be curious and to wonder, I wonder what part of life I might stand up for. You know, is it the animals? Is it fracking? Is it 5G? Is it factory farming? And for us to heal any sort of like, I'm afraid of this, just to heal quietly and gently on the inside. You don't have to go out and put your luminescent yellow jacket on and go to the Houses of Parliament. That's not what anyone is asking or expecting of you. But if we just quietly heal on the inside, so should anything cross our path where something very inappropriate and aggressive and painful has happened, that we don't turn away. We don't pretend we haven't seen. That we actually show up and go, excuse me, did I see you kick your dog, slap your daughter, aggressively argue with your spouse? I'm sorry. I'm not going to allow this to happen, because we have been sheep. We've seen something very wrong happen on our path and we look the other way. I've done that. How many times have I done that?
Yeah.
It upsets me deeply.
Yeah.
It's to have that power back in our system again, and it's ready and available for an appropriate moment.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And it reminds me of the Indian goddess. Which name it is?
Kali. Kali.
Say it again. Kali. Yes.
Kali? Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah.
This is an archetype. We all have access to this archetype. We must have access to this archetype, because there are a lot of things out there that are operational and continuing because we haven't said no to it yet. And I think the spiritual world, the fake spiritual world, has said, ooh, don't go near that energy because it's going to appear as if you're angry. Angry is not spiritual. You have to be graceful always. You have to smile and wear white and be pure and holy. Well, I can't be those things when I see that pipeline going down in America. And I certainly can't be those things when I see that wall go up between America and Mexico. Kali must appear.
Yes, I totally agree with you, and that's great. You offer that to the viewers, and in order to remind us of all the power we have inside, because we are all made of that. So we just have to remember that we can connect to those energies, beautiful energies. We are God.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And all it will do is destroy the inauthentic. It will not harm one single human soul.
Yeah.
It's not about anger, it's not about judgment. It's just about no.
Yeah, beautiful. I thank you very much for participating in this show and helping us in this interview to move with both male and female energies in our conversation. So it is great. Yeah, very helpful. Yeah.
I thank you too, Gilles. Absolutely. I enjoyed every moment. And whatever it is we created, may all of that go out and into everyone who comes to this video as a great, great blessing.
Thank you for that. So, beautiful viewers, I thank you for being part of this, for co-creating this interviews, this show, and this is really beautiful. And I want us to remember that we are love. We are made of love, and we are all made of love. So it's possible for everyone to reconnect to her heart. So, and yeah, how can I say that? If it's only the beginning. So remember to love yourself, and then you can love the world outside. Thank you.
See you.
Bye-bye.